You're in the shower, or driving, or just about to fall asleep, and out of nowhere it hits you. Not a happy memory, not the vacation, not the compliment someone gave you last week, something you said in ninth grade, something you tripped over at a party 3 years ago. Your whole body reacts like it's happening right now. Your face gets hot, your stomach drops, and the compliment from last Tuesday, already gone. You can't even remember who said it. Right now, you probably have dozens of embarrassing moments sitting in your memory in high definition. Exact words, exact faces, exact rooms. Meanwhile, entire weeks of genuinely good things that happened to you have quietly disappeared, like they were never even stored in the first place. That's not a coincidence, and it's not because you're overly sensitive or dramatic. It's not a personal flaw at all. So here's the actual question. Why does your brain treat a single awkward moment from years ago like something worth preserving forever, while it lets real happiness slip away almost immediately? Let's start with the core mechanism. Because it has a name: negativity bias. Your brain is built to pay far more attention to things that could hurt you than to things that feel good, and it remembers accordingly. This isn't a modern glitch, it's ancient wiring, and it made sense for almost the entire span of human existence. Forgetting a compliment costs you nothing. Forgetting a mistake that got you rejected, humiliated, or thrown out of your group could cost you everything. In a small ancestral band where survival depended entirely on being accepted by the people around you, being cast out wasn't just uncomfortable. It could be a death sentence. So your brain evolved to treat social threats with the same urgency as physical ones, and it still does that today, even when the actual stakes are a lot lower than they used to be. Here's where it gets biological. When something embarrassing happens, your amygdala, the small almond-shaped structure buried deep in your brain that acts as your emotional alarm system, fires immediately. It doesn't wait to evaluate whether the threat is real danger or just social discomfort. It treats them almost identically. Once it fires, it sends a signal straight to the hippocampus, the part of your brain responsible for building detailed, accurate memories. That connection is the reason you don't just remember that something embarrassing happened, you remember the exact sentence you said, the specific look on the other person's face, even what you were wearing. Your brain wasn't casually filing this away, it was flagging it as critical information you might need again. At the same time, your body floods itself with stress hormones. Cortisol and norepinephrine surge through your system, and both of them work to cement that memory deeper into your long-term storage. Norepinephrine sharpens the details. Cortisol widens the lesson, wiring it not just into this one specific event, but into your broader understanding of social situations in general. That's why one bad moment in a meeting can quietly reshape how nervous you feel walking into every meeting after it. Your brain isn't just storing what happened, it's trying to protect you from it happening again, using every tool it has. Compare that to a happy moment. Say someone gives you a genuine compliment. It feels good for a few seconds, but unless something makes that moment unusually intense, your amygdala barely reacts. There's no flood of stress hormones, no urgent tagging, no deep burn into memory. Your brain doesn't treat joy as a survival issue, so it doesn't file it with the same priority. Positive memories often get what researchers call shallow encoding. You experience them, you enjoy them, and then, without any dramatic biological process reinforcing them, they simply fade. It's not that happiness doesn't matter to your brain. It's that your brain has never treated it as urgent the way it treats potential threats. There's another layer to this that makes embarrassment specifically brutal, and it comes down to how personal it is. When an experience is about you specifically, your identity, your reputation, how others see you, certain regions in the front and middle of your brain become more active, and that activity strengthens the memory even further. Embarrassment doesn't just register as an event, it registers as information about who you are and how safe your social standing is. That's part of why a single cringeworthy moment can feel heavier than 10 genuine compliments stacked together. It's not hitting one system. It's hitting your sense of identity, your social status, and your fear of exclusion all at the same time. This is also where the spotlight effect comes in. Your brain has a strong built-in tendency to overestimate how much other people noticed and cared about your mistake. In the moment, it feels like everyone in that room is thinking about what you just did. In reality, most people forgot within minutes, if they even noticed at all, because they're far too busy running the exact same anxious simulation about themselves. But your brain doesn't know that in the moment. It assumes the worst possible version of social exposure. Because, historically, assuming the worst was safer than assuming the best. And it doesn't stop once the moment is over. Embarrassing memories have a specific, almost predatory way of resurfacing. Psychologists call these involuntary autobiographical memories, and they're not random. They get triggered by even small overlaps between your current situation and the stored memory. A similar tone of voice, a familiar room, a passing comment that sounds like something someone once said to you. Your brain treats these overlaps as a cue to check the file again, just in case the old threat is somehow relevant now. Every time it does this, every time you replay that memory, you're reinforcing it. This pattern, replaying and analyzing an embarrassing moment over and over in repetitive detail, is called rumination. And it's one of the main reasons some memories from years or even decades ago still feel fresh enough to make you wince in real time. Age plays a role in this too. Adolescence in particular seems to create a kind of perfect storm for negativity bias. During the teenage years, the amygdala is running at close to full intensity, while the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for regulating emotion and putting things into rational context, is still years away from being fully developed. That mismatch means teenagers experience social pain with an intensity that adults often can't fully recall feeling themselves. A moment of social rejection that an adult might shrug off within an hour can feel genuinely catastrophic to a teenage brain. And because that intensity gets locked in during a period when memory encoding is already unusually strong, a huge number of people's most vivid, embarrassing memories come from adolescence specifically, decades-old moments that somehow still carry a physical sting. Here's the uncomfortable twist in all of this. The system was never actually broken. It was working exactly as designed. Your brain built an early warning system meant to help you avoid repeating dangerous social mistakes, back when a damaged reputation in a small group could threaten your access to food, protection, and survival itself. The problem is, the world changed a lot faster than your brain's wiring did. You're not living in a band of 40 people where one humiliating mistake could get you exiled into a wilderness full of predators. You're living in a world where most embarrassing moments have genuinely low stakes. A stumble in a meeting, an awkward text, a joke that didn't land. But your amygdala doesn't know the difference. It still fires exactly as hard for a minor social slip today as it would have fired for something that once threatened your survival. The alarm system is ancient. The threats it's responding to are not. This is also part of why forcing yourself to just stop thinking about an embarrassing memory rarely works. You're not fighting a bad habit. You're fighting a hardwired survival mechanism that took hundreds of thousands of years to build. One that genuinely believes it's protecting you by keeping that memory sharp and accessible. Understanding that doesn't make the memory disappear, but it does change what it means when it shows up. It's not proof that you're broken, awkward, or uniquely bad at social situations. It's proof that your threat detection system is doing exactly the job it evolved to do, just aimed at a world that doesn't actually require it anymore. So, back to that moment in the shower, the one that ambushed you out of nowhere, dragging you straight back to something from years ago. That wasn't your brain malfunctioning. That was your amygdala and hippocampus working together exactly the way they were built to, treating an old social misstep with the same seriousness they'd give a genuine threat to your survival. It's overzealous. It's often unnecessary. But it's not a personal failure. It's ancient hardware, still running its original code, in a world that has changed far more than the code has. You'll probably never actually get exiled from your tribe over an awkward comment at a party. But somewhere deep in your brain, a system built for exactly that risk is still standing guard, filing away every uncomfortable moment in high definition, just in case. And the compliment you got last week? It's already gone, not because it didn't matter, but because your brain never thought it needed saving in the first place.